Okay, good evening, everyone, and welcome to this presentation on a cryptocurrency 101 today. My name is Dolores McKenzie. I'm an author and financial educator, and I have had a few requests for this presentation, hence why I am doing a cryptocurrency 101 presentation. So welcome again, and I hope that this presentation will provide some value for you and you'll get some of your questions answered. And also, you can always connect with me in order to get additional information. So just a little bit of disclaimer before I go into the presentation. Please do not take this information for any legal, accounting, or tax advice. This is for educational purposes only, and the presenter cannot be held responsible for any direct or incidental loss resulting from applying any of the information that's being shared. Any figures I use in this presentation is for illustration purposes only. So a little bit of what we will cover in this presentation. What is blockchain technology? We'll cover that. What are cryptocurrencies? The characteristics of cryptocurrencies and what benefits are there for adopting cryptocurrencies, and also the top 10 currencies and their market capitalization value. And also, I know all of you want to know about investing in crypto. I also have a bonus for you, which is bonus two other types of investment vehicles that can give you some tax advantages as well. So what is blockchain? So blockchain is a type of database that stores information in a very unique way. And the data is chained together in chronological order. So it is very difficult to alter or cheat. And it is also being referred to as a digital ledger that records information, duplicates, and distributes it around in different modes on the blockchain. So blockchain technology has simplified and increased the processing speed of financial transactions, as well as logistics when it comes to shipping and receiving. And of course, the blockchain technology is also referred to as a digital asset ecosystem. And it is all having to do with the decentralization of financial services. And some businesses have also taken advantage of this technology to reduce their costs, and some of them are even Amazon and also even Walmart and JP Morgan as one of the financial institutions that have adopted this blockchain technology. So what are cryptocurrencies? So the digital currencies that are used secured by cryptography, that's what the cryptocurrencies are. And there are lots of different cryptocurrencies. There's actually over 6,700 of them. So they're leveraged on the blockchain technology and are generally not issued by the central authority. So as I mentioned before, it's the decentralized nature of the currency which means that no government interference or manipulation can happen with these currencies. So they're basically decentralizing the entire financial industry. And the first blockchain cryptocurrency rather, as we knew it, has been Bitcoin. And that emerged actually in 2009. And when it emerged, it was $1 for $1. So one crypto was $1 US. That was the equivalent. And then, of course, in 2017, it went up to $10,000, the value of one crypto. And right now it's at about 64,000. So one cryptocurrency is about $64,000. So if you had gotten into the crypto world then in 2009, you would be looking pretty nice right now. And today, there are thousands of alternate cryptocurrencies. Some of them they call altcoins or ALTs. And they have various functions and specifications as well on the chain. So what are some of the characteristics of cryptocurrencies? They call it trustless because it's designed with no need for trust of a third party. So you don't have to use a bank or a credit card in order for it to function. And it does not require the function of any central authority for anyone to trust it before using it. Also, the different segments of cryptocurrency, of the cryptocurrency ecosystem, can verify information from other parts of the network. And that can be done without extending outside of the network. So it's a very unique system, and they have the securities embedded in there as well. So it is also immutable. So the transactions, once carried out, it cannot be undone. So it is very important, if you're getting into it, to make sure that you, when you're creating a transaction, that you make sure you note the address that you're sending your money to verify the address. Normally you use the first 4 and the last 4 characters to make sure they're exact, so that your money don't get lost in outer space. This concept is founded on the principle that it should be impossible to rewrite history. It should be impossible for anyone else except the owner of a set of private keys to access the fund in a wallet. So you have no key, you have no guarantee. So in order to really have your money safe, you must have a key, access key, and you are the only one that should have that key. It's unique to you, so that no one can tap into your wallet. All transactions are documented and recorded on the blockchain. So everything you do is recorded on there and documented on that chain. So cryptocurrencies are decentralized. So no political entity can control a public blockchain network. And there's no central point of failure in its network because of the decentralized infrastructure. And it also, it makes it kind of fault tolerant and attack resistant and collusion resistant as well. So cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin, they have no intrinsic value. So you can't take cryptocurrency into a store and exchange it for goods. You cannot redeem it for another commodity. So what you would have to do is exchange it on the network for a usable currency that, something equivalent to the US dollar, like the USDT or the USDC, and then you transfer it back to fiat currency. And fiat currency is what we use, like the dollar, the US dollar, Canadian dollar, the yen, the euro, and so on. So and the peso, those are fiat currencies, okay? And the value of cryptocurrency is usually defined by the community. So the larger the community that's using the currency or the coin, the more the value increases. And that's what we see with Bitcoin and Ethereum and some of those ones that have been shooting up in the past little while. Okay, and they don't really have the physical form. It only exists on the network. So what are some of the benefits of adopting cryptocurrencies? Transactions are done on a peer-to-peer network structure, and that eliminates the middleman. So you don't have to go through any middleman or pay them, a fee in order to do that. However, when you are doing a transaction, there are network fees as well. Okay, so there's no middleman, but the transaction does require action on a network, and there are network fees, and they also have gas fees depending on where your money is, where you're taking it from, where you're moving it to. So the cryptocurrencies also allow for seamless cross-border transactions to countries that recognize these currencies. So, normally you can't travel with more than $10,000 cash, right? But in some of these cases, you can put your cryptocurrency on a card equivalent to US dollar, And some cards will allow you to use up to 50,000 a day. So, you know, it does, and you know, you can go anywhere with that card that they use the card and have the transactions. So it does allow for some cross-border transaction to be a little bit seamless. Okay, also there's strong security when it comes to the transactions you do with cryptocurrency. Currency transactions have immutability and transparency features that hedges against fraud. Has there ever been fraud? Yes, there have been. And there have been, you know, people who have scammed people because of, you know, the nature of that. And that is why education is so important. If you are looking at getting into cryptocurrency, make sure you get the proper education. You know, educate yourself on the different networks and different platforms and so on. And they also use encryption techniques to safeguard against fraud and tampering and promotes customer privacy. And that's what I said, unless you have a key, you don't own the wallet, okay? You must have a key to your wallet. So these are some examples of some of the more popular cryptocurrencies and their market capitalization value over the past, you know, as I mentioned before, there are over 6,700 and more are being mined on a daily basis. You know, mining crypto means that they go on a network and they solve puzzles, you know, to actually find more coins, okay? And it can be a very expensive project, but some people come together on a ecosystem and pool their funds together in order to mine it more efficiently. And of course, they get some value from that. So these are some of the top market caps for some of the popular Bitcoins, you know, like, I mean, cryptocurrency rather. So Bitcoin is at the number one, over 632 billion. And it may be more now because, you know, I put this thing a few weeks ago together. So it may be more because we know last week they shot up. Bitcoin and Ethereum shot up. Ethereum was at 146 billion. The Tether as well was at 424 billion. There's Polkadot, and Polkadot has a few different things in their wallet as well, in their pockets as well, you know, for you to look at. There's XRP, Cardano, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, Chainlink, and Binance Coin. Those are some of the, you know, the ones that are more popular that most people will know about right now. So I know you all want to know about investing in cryptocurrency, but these are just, this is just basic information I'm giving you. You need to do your due diligence in order to, it's your money, your hard-earned money. So you have to make sure that you do your due diligence where you're going to put it. And if you have the time to, you know, and want to take the risk, because there is huge potential for gain, but similarly, there's huge potential for loss due to the high risk involved. So the crypto market is very volatile. And yes, you'll see some shot up, and most people will tell you what they earn. They never tell you what they lose. So just be wary, okay? Just be wary and be careful. And what are some of the ways that you can invest in crypto? There's crypto trading. You know, you do the CFDs, the contract for trading as an individual broker, whether it's with an individual or a broker. And then you have the day trading. That's speculative trading. It does take time and you have to know what you're doing. There is the Bitcoin mining, as I mentioned before, which is a method of, you know, gaining new coins by solving puzzles on the network. And there's arbitrage, which is buying in one market and selling in the other. And you want to buy low and sell high, but it takes some skill and it takes some knowing, and you have to have the time to maneuver that as well. And then there's ICO and IEO, which is the initial coin offerings and the initial exchange offerings. So if you get in at the beginning, you know, you're getting at the beginning, you're able to sell later on and make a profit at that. But I will let you know that there are companies, legitimate companies, that are offering portfolios for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency portfolios. And what that means is that you can get involved with the cryptocurrencies with a certified company that can build a portfolio for you and manage it for you. Yes, there is risk involved in everything you do. So what you would have to do, you would have to make sure that you get your risk tolerance done and you figure out what you can. You start with, I would say, start with what you can afford to lose and just watch it grow and keep going there, right? But yes, there is, as I said, there is the potential for gain, but there's also the potential for huge loss. So do your due diligence and make sure that you're doing what's right for you and for your family. Okay, so cryptocurrency is now seen as the future for commerce as well as the financial system. And it has been around now for over a decade. And more retail businesses are taking notice and are accepting cryptocurrencies as a means of trade and online shopping. Hence the big market for the crypto cards, right? And so the real potential of cryptocurrencies, if it's here to stay, it's just merely tapped. So there's huge potential in there as well. But as I say, do your due diligence, make sure that you're learning so that you can understand and and put your money wisely. So what are some of the setbacks? There is huge volatility. There's also the potential for it to be used for illicit businesses because there's no centralization, right? There's the decentralization of that. And of course, people may use it for money laundering because you can put as much crypto coin on your card and you can go wherever you want to go and use it, right? And cryptocurrencies may be very much here to stay, and we will see it being accepted in many other forms legally as a legal tender in the future. So I suggest be in the know, get the information you need, and make sure that you're on top of what's going on with it. So I also had a promise to share with you a couple of other investment options. Okay, and before I do that, I just want to ask a couple of questions here. Even whatever type of investment you're doing, whether it's crypto, whether it's other vehicles, some of the questions you must ask yourself: what are the goals do I have for my money? Why are you saving? Why are you investing? What is the goal for your money? And of course, the next question is, will my money work harder than I am working? Will my money outpace inflation? Because you want to make sure that your money is outpacing inflation. And then, what are the tax implications when I'm ready to withdraw that money? And also, am I saving or able to save at least 10% of my net income? And that is one thing I encourage people to do. If you are not able to save 10%, save what you can, but shoot for at least 10%. And if it is a case that you cannot find money to save, what you need to do is to increase your cash flow. And if that's something you want to do, you can talk to me about that as well. So one of the vehicles that I'm going to talk to you a little bit about is segregated funds. I'm not sure if you've heard of segregated funds. Segregated fund, or seg fund as it's commonly called, is a type of investment fund administered by the Canadian insurance companies in the form of individual variable insurance contract, or IVIC. That's what they call. So what does that give you and what does that mean? It means that because there's a layer of insurance around that investment, your principal is guaranteed. So it comes with a maturity and a death benefit guarantee. They also offer reset options. So say, for example, you put 10,000 in and it grew to 11, you can reset and it would be as if you started with 11,000 as your principal. It is also creditor protected, meaning that normally if you have, say, for example, a mutual fund and something happens, if somebody passes away and have mutual funds, that's part of their estate and the estate is public knowledge. But if you have your investment in a segregated fund, it is private. So the funds will bypass the probate and estate taxes and go directly to the beneficiary. There is also the possibility of you building a lifetime income with segregated funds, where you can put in a different, set it up differently so that you can be paid from it for the rest of your life. And what types of account can be used with a segregated fund? There's the RRSP, RESP, the tax-free savings account, annuities, open or non-registered investments. So all those types of investment can go in a seg fund. Anything you normally put in a GIC or a mutual fund, you can go in the seg fund. It's safe. It has the safety of the GIC, but the growth of the mutual fund. So combined together, it's a segregated fund. Here is an example. Say, for example, you put $10,000. Most Canadians work for about 40 years, okay? And if you put $10,000 and you put it in your investment, and say, for example, you're continually putting $250 a month and you have it in the bank at 1%, you would have contributed about $130,000, and you would have grown, it would have grown by 31,000. You would look and say, that's okay, I got 31,000 on my money, but what if you could outpace inflation? Inflation has risen to about 4.1%. What if you could outpace inflation and get 6 or 7%? Look at the difference the percentage make. You put the same 130, but look, you're coming out with either a growth of 437 or a growth of 618. Wouldn't it make sense that you look at that option where you can actually bypass the middleman? Just the same, bypass the middleman, which is the bank, and go directly to the money managers where they can do that for you. Okay, if you want to know more about that, you can speak with me, send me a direct message, and we'll be able to talk about it. The second investment vehicle is what some people call be your own bank. I call it a wealth account. Okay, so be your own bank also is an insurance product, and in that product you're guaranteed never to lose money. There's also the possibility of annual dividend gains on top of your growth. There is long-term growth. There's flexible time horizon for contributing. So you don't have to contribute for all your life. You can choose 10, 15, 20 years, however long. There are flexible investment choices for you, and you can use that one plan to build wealth for 3 generations. And most importantly, you can withdraw that money in a tax advantage way. You just have to make sure it's structured properly. So, as it is said, you know, what if you can explore these options? And this is just an example of a wealth plan. This is a wealth plan for a 40-year-old couple. It's a joint plan for them. And together they're putting away $6,000 a year. And that's like $20 a day, right? They're putting away for or less than $20 a day. So right off the bat, they're covered. And you notice that the investment is growing. So by 20 years, when that 40-year-old reaches 60, there's 166,000 of cash that's available to them. You know, can you imagine later on, this can be another tax-free retirement income that can come to them. And look, there's over $1 million to go to the next generation. And some of that money can be tapped into when it looks at long-term care and also disability or health challenges. If you have disability or health challenges, some of that money can be tapped into as well. And this is for a female, 35-year-old female, you know, and she put in $60,000, $3,000 a year for 20 years and get the value of over 155,000 of cash by age 65, and of course over 355,000 can be passed on to the next generation. So you're using one money to do so many things, you know. So that's one of the vehicles that I wanted to share with you to say, you know, doing a plan like this, which we call build your own, be your own bank. You could borrow that money to buy another property or whatever you want to do, to start another business, whatever. And these concepts have been here for more than 100 years. Because I know some of you may know Jim Patterson, the car dealership owner, right? And when he started his first dealership, it was a similar plan that he pulled some of the money from to help him to start. So this has been around for hundreds of years, over 100 years at least. So it's not a new concept. It's just that many people still don't know about it. So we are here to educate you on that. So it is said that you're sitting under the shade of a tree today because someone planted a seed a long time ago. What seed are you willing to plant for someone to have some shade? I want to thank you very much for allowing me to share with you. And I hope that this has been some value for you, and just share the information with others so that they can get the value as well. Thank you so much.